Hey there, and welcome back to the Butcher Shop. My name is Sandy Butchers, and in today's video I will be working with gouache, but also for the very first time with gold leafing. So if you want to know how I get to work, and if you do enjoy watching art videos, then stay tuned first of all, but also please consider subscribing to the channel because it would really be a lot of help to me to grow my channel and to help people along on this art journey that we're all going through. So today's video is really all about practice. I very often get the question, like, what happens when, your work doesn't really turn out the way you want it to? Or like, do you ever even create something that you're not happy with? And the answer is always very much yes, I make that stuff all the time. And so to kind of link into that, in today's video, I want to show you a practice project. So this was really to see where my skills are at when it comes to the gold leafing, and just, see if I can make something out of it. Like I've never used this before. I've got one video where I applied, a little band of gold, very straight lines on a small painting that I made. But in today's video, I'm really going into the details. So this piece that I'm working on is, let's see, I think 7 centimeters wide by 21 centimeters tall. It's almost like a bookmark size. So the letters, the lettering and all the details that I will eventually be making gold are very small, like super small. The colors I'm using are swamp colors. Because, I'm working with a frog and I'm working with mushrooms. I considered all kinds of happy colors, like rainbow colors, because the thing does say, find your happy place. So I ultimately went with a combination of both. Like the top is very much swamp, and then at the bottom, it's a bit more flowery, a bit more floral. You get some pinks and yellows. So I'm starting with the frog, and this is going to be pretty flat in terms of shading. It's all going to be one color, one highlight color, and then one like shadow color. So 3 shades of each color, and that's it. So no complex shading, just easy going. Like this is just me having fun, actually. And as you can see, these brushes are incredibly tiny. Like this is the smallest brush size I could get from a model painting shop. So it's like 10 hairs and not even a millimeter in diameter. It's really tiny. But I kind of enjoy working with details. Like I've been doing that since I was a kid. When I was back in school, my teachers would comment about how small my handwriting was. And I had to do all kinds of exercises to practice my handwriting. Well, I don't know, like later on when I got older, I just realized it was small, but it was a very good handwriting. Like it was very clear. I could write cursive. I could do all kinds of things, but it was just tiny. So all this practice and all this sort of extra assignments, I always think of them as stupid because there was nothing wrong with my motor skills. There really wasn't. In fact, I really enjoy working on the tinier things. Like the smaller it is, the more focused I need to be. And there's something very relaxing about just concentrating on keeping a steady hand, on getting all those tiny details filled in. I really like that. So a bit of color blending in the legs. So I may have lied a little bit. Like it's not just green. I'm putting in a little bit of yellow and made his toes orange, just to get that sort of magical frog kind of sense to him. Like if he is all green, I mean it's cool. I could have done that, but I think a bit of color nuance, especially because the yellow and the orange is also present in the background. It creates a bit of unity. Like it connects the different elements on the paper together. simply by using the same colors. And it doesn't have to be much, just as accent colors, you sort of unite things. So that's kind of why I went with the yellow-orange feet. And it kind of worked out. Sometimes it's so easy to get inspired, really. I follow Iris Compete on Instagram. I met her in real life once or twice. Shared a panel with her in 2024 during the Eurocon in Rotterdam, where we talked about AI in the arts, and it was a great discussion. It was great, and I love her work, by the way. And just the other day, I saw her working with these fairies that had little mushroom heads. And that idea kind of stuck. So I figured, why not give this little frog a little mushroom head? Inspiration is a wonderful thing, actually. It's sometimes you just see something that is so random, and it just gives you an idea. Like, you look outside, you see a bird, and all of a sudden you have this idea for this weird aerodynamic spacecraft kind of thing. It just happens. What can you do? Yeah, outlining these miniatures. Again, this is all just very tiny. This brush is so small, and it's so nice to find the right pressure for that brush. To sort of, it's a combination of finding the right pressure, but also finding the right consistency of the paint, like adding just enough water so that it actually just glides across the paper, so you get these very thin, very smooth lines. It's really nice. Could I have used a pen? Yeah, I could have. But why? Why would I? If I've got this really tiny brush. I've also noticed, by the way, that a lot of these pens are not really happy when you use them on top of a layer of paint or anything. So most of the time you can draw 2 lines with them on top of your paint, and then you gotta scratch it on a normal piece of paper before it starts giving ink again. So I guess in a way, using the brush is also just easier. Color to the mushrooms. So I'm leaving the areas where I intend to put the gold leafing. I'm not putting any paint up there, except for the one mushroom where I actually made a mistake and filled it in. But I guess once the paint is dry, I can just apply the glue on top of that. But other than that, I leave the areas empty. Also just, to sort of help me remind myself where the gold is going to go. So I've got this this glue from Fimo, and it's a very white milky substance, and it's supposed to dry until it loses the milky white color. So it's supposed to dry until it's transparent. But what I found really difficult is that you just don't see where you are working. And maybe, I don't know, maybe this stuff is just not meant to work on these really tiny surfaces. But I just wanted to try it out, see, how far I could get with it. But I've really noticed that it's very, very difficult to do lettering with, first of all, with the glue. And then later on, you'll see that, the gold leafing, well, it's not ugly, but it doesn't come out as tight as I wanted it to be. Probably because I couldn't see where the glue surfaces were, so it got a little bit messy, but that's okay. Yeah, so I'm applying the first piece of gold leaf just to see what happens. Like, I could have done the whole thing at once. Maybe I should have done that, I don't know. I'm also still very much practicing with how to sort of break the foil, how to sort of brush it off, because it doesn't always come off that easily. And I'm probably doing a lot of things very wrong still. Like, I really still need to look into the techniques and, how this actually works. But, well, it's nice to see something appear once you start brushing, it starts crumbling. Gold is everywhere, by the way. Like, I've got a glitter workshop right now. It's the butcher shop, but with glitter. But yeah, you can see the letters appear, but they really do need a lot of TLC there. There's a lot of edges that are just crumbly, very ragged, so it needs some help. I completely ruined one of the P's with the word happy. But it's okay. Because again, this video was all about just practicing and having fun with a new medium. And I also figured, ragged edges, I suppose you can fix them with a bit of an outline. So I ended up contouring all these letters and covering the edges with paint. So, it's not that obvious that the gold didn't really, do what I wanted it to do. But I guess in context of the frog, because the frog is outlined as well, of course. So, it works. Like, the whole thing together kind of works. Like, I'm not unpleased. I'm not displeased with it. So I've primed the mushrooms, and I cut the gold leaf into smaller bits so that it would just be easier to cover the different shapes and areas. So I've got one full mushroom, I've got a couple of the stems, and sometimes it's just the spots on the mushrooms. So I'm using just different pieces really to make sure that I use the gold as efficiently as possible as well. Because I could have just picked up one leaf or one sheet, just cover the whole thing with it and be done with it. But I'd end up throwing away so much of that it kind of feels like a waste. And that's pretty much the process for this video. This was a couple of hours of work, just a little in-between sort of project. Had a lot of fun with it, and I'm really looking forward to getting my teeth into more gold leafing, because I really do like the effect. I've got some silver as well, so who knows, maybe in one of the next videos I'll be working with a bit of silver foil. In any case, thank you very much for watching, and if you do like watching art videos and art tutorials, I really honestly invite you to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because there is more where this came from. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.